This is on a trial basis.
Don't you like cats?
Cat is not the word I use, Thelma.
Hey, we're on. How you doing, Courtney?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Stan?
Well, it's been a really interesting week, a lot going on, and we really just need to get right into it because we've got a lot to cover today in a short amount of time to get it done.
That's right.
I always find at the end of our hours here, that we do these things, and then I edit them down to about 50 minutes, get the junk out of there, and the me fooling around with my tech and stuff. I get all that taken care of. And I realized, oh man, we didn't talk about this, we didn't talk about that, we didn't cover any of that. But so I want to try to just nail the subjects today and get it all done. Now, you told me as you walked in here today that the sheriff was arrested again.
Yeah,
again, right?
The former sheriff.
The former sheriff, right? The former
Yes.
sheriff, and his name is again?
Curtis Cochran.
Curtis Cochran.
Former Sheriff Curtis Cochran of Swain County, North Carolina.
That is a 70s exploitation film name right there for a sheriff.
He's got it all.
Curtis Cochran.
He has got it all.
Okay, but you said he got arrested. Was this? So we're recording this on Wednesday. Was
Yes.
this on Tuesday?
On Tuesday, he got arrested again.
Can you tell the story very concisely?
briefly?
Just start from the top.
So yes, the former Sheriff Curtis Cochran of Swain County was picked up the end of July for the charges on the koala boundary in Cherokee. And those charges were restraining a lady, assaulting a lady. They were all sexual in nature. So yesterday, yes, he was picked up again by the SBI for more charges that were brought forth. And this one is a second-degree rape. Wow. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Incredible.
For those of you that don't know what second-degree rape is, it is forcible. There's a contingency that it could be due to mental incapacitation. That also falls in the second-degree category. But the main criteria is it is forcible without consent.
So it's the State Bureau of Investigation. Mm-hmm. All right. Not related to the FBI.
Not related.
Completely different.
Yes.
Thank you for that distinction.
It's the state level. But what I was able to ascertain through my sources, because they are wrapping this lady up in no names, no details, no nothing. All we have is the charges. But I did ascertain that she is not a tribal member.
Not a tribal member. So
this one's not a tribal member.
Okay, but we don't know anything else about her.
That's all I've been able to, and that's just from process of elimination through some of my contacts.
All right, now let me tell you what I heard, which has nothing to do with that arrest, but it does have to do with Sheriff Curtis Cochran.
Former.
Well, he can still hold that title until the day he dies.
Well, you know what? I have a problem with giving respect where they ain't none due.
I understand, but just for our audience's sake, we're going to talk about him as Sheriff Curtis Cochran.
Former.
Okay.
I'm going to do that every time.
Feel free.
Like a frog.
I have the ability to edit, so it's all right. Okay, tell you what I heard. Now, they sell marijuana in Cherokee.
Correct.
They sell marijuana.
If you're buying cannabinoid marijuana, you have to go to the dispensary.
The dispensary, but there's a dispensary.
Yes.
And you don't need you don't need anything.
An ID. You have to have a valid ID and be over 18.
Again, my point was you can go to Cherokee and buy marijuana.
Correct.
Now, the Cherokee Reservation is technically in Swain County.
Part of it is in Swain, part of it is in Jackson, yes.
But the Cherokee Nation is a nation unto itself.
Correct.
They are sovereign.
Yes, federally recognized, not answerable necessarily to the state, yes.
I'm sure that a lot of people out there, our audience, understands that. They get what Indian reservations are all about. They get that, okay? My understanding was that Sheriff Cochran, when he was sheriff, was interfering with their business, with their pot selling business.
That is correct. He was trying to shut down their transportation from their grow facility to their distribution facility.
Now, you know all about that.
Correct.
And they had to cross out of the reservation to do that, correct?
That was the easiest route. However, they can use their own internal lands and roads that are already in existence. I think they had to build a bridge or something, but no, they just taken the back road now.
So Sheriff Cochran was having a problem with them transporting marijuana outside of the reservation.
Correct. Yes. But that wasn't very effective for him.
Hang on. So he was messing with their business, affecting their business, and then two different female individuals from the tribe come forward and say that he has messed with them sexually.
Yes, but not only did they come forward, there is documented evidence of this. There are videos. There is the fact that the assistant police chief actually pulled him over with her in the car and read the situation correctly, followed his instincts, and followed him to the gas station where the woman exited the vehicle and immediately disclosed what had just happened.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was... Yeah, it was serious.
That's good to know.
Like, he literally got caught with his pants down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Do you have any other local news? I noticed that you posted again a county council meeting.
I just wanted to reiterate that we do have people sitting on the commissioner's board. One we have that really cares about people and fights for what's right for Swain County. We have some there that are very complicit in engaging in government business for their own profit.
You're particularly speaking about a woman, I believe, was on some sort of trial basis, like a month basis.
The county manager, yes.
The county manager.
She was appointed by the commissioners. There were 13 viable applicants, qualified. Their applications were not even looked at. They were because the county manager that they went with had already been, she was the interim county manager following the Kevin King moving to Jackson County to be their county manager. So instead of looking at the applicants, they just gave her the position. There was a lot of opposition to that. There's a lot of people that felt like she was put there to do the bidding of the commissioners because technically she's their boss. There was a $500,000 retainment clause in her contract, meaning if we decide that there's something problematic and we remove her within her 4-year term, that we owe her $500,000 and all benefits for the year, including the Wi-Fi that we pay for at her house.
Holy crap.
That's in her contract.
$500,000?
Yeah. If we terminate her employment at the end of her contract and instead of renewing her contract and hire someone else, we have to pay her, I don't remember the exact number, it's over $100,000.
Who would agree to that in her?
I mean, she did good for her own self. She agreed to that, but why would the commissioners agree to that unless they were specifically trying to retain her to make sure that their financial matters remained undisclosed?
That's my argument is why would that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. That sounds corrupt as hell.
I can be quite provocative, and I mean that on a lot of different levels, but one of those is I do have the ability to get under someone's skin and anger them. And, especially...
Why do you think you're my co-host?
So I can get under Stan's skin and anger him. We're looking for that viral content.
Well, it's a tempest in a teapot because it's just Swain County and our audience is international.
I'm going to have to draw a whiteboard like on the murder shows where you've got this one is this one's brother and this one worked for this one.
And then you got to take the threads and thread them with the pins and thread them up and this show the connections and all that.
Yeah.
I would love it if you did that. That would be awesome.
I know I'm going to have to go down to the Historical Society and get everybody's brothers and cousins because we're all branch kin.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of nepotism in Swain County.
Very much.
No question about that.
I'm going to deep dive into our animal control officer on my next Spilling the Beans.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I just do for YouTube and Facebook on the side. Controversial Courtney.
Yeah. Well, you always need to send those things to me.
I should.
Because we could make them the topic of something for the show.
We can do that.
Now we do get a lot of people from Swain County who watch our show,
and we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely, it's wonderful. And I met a couple of them at your Nana's estate sale the other day.
I know they're from Virginia.
Yeah.
I
think we made the score. I think Karen and I made the score of the entire estate sale when I bought that waffle iron that makes heart-shaped waffles. Now, we have yet to use it, which
I was going to ask.
I'm terribly disappointed about that, but Karen has her own game plan, her own priorities. Mm-hmm. But I'm very sure that my granddaughter Blake is going to be in love with those things. She's going to really, really dig it. Well, let's move on.
Okay, ready, go.
Let's move on. We have to talk about Barack Obama. Because this is something that Tulsi Gabbard, who is the director of national intelligence for Donald Trump, something that she has been working on, obviously, for months. And she has gathered together an unclassified documents that prove that former President Barack Obama planned and executed the Russia hoax against Donald Trump.
Right.
That is the biggest scandal in the history of the United States. Tulsi Gabbard released documents and referred them to the DOJ for the possible prosecution of Barack Obama. And along in there is Brennan, Clapper, and also Susan Rice was in that meeting this meeting was called early after Donald Trump had been elected in 2016, not 2024, in 2016. So he got elected and Barack Obama put this scheme together, called these people together. Let's look at the board here. The creation of the Russia hoax. Real intel assessment. Russia and the criminal actors did not impact recent U.S. elections as a result, conducting cyber attacks on infrastructure. Okay, so what this is saying is the report was finalized and given to Barack Obama that the Russians did not hack the election. This report was given to Barack Obama and said, guess what? They didn't do it.
Right.
All right. Within days, Barack Obama called a meeting with Brennan, Clapper, Susan Rice. James Comey from the FBI was not in that meeting, but he was directed from the results of this meeting. He was directed to act on their fake intelligence to go after Trump. All right. Okay. So he gets this report. Donald Trump wins the election. Then there's a secret meeting in the Oval Office. Okay. That's Clapper on the left of Obama there. This is the guy who lied to Congress when they said, do you have any direct information of the CIA spying on Americans? And he said, no. Well, he just directly lied because we know now that absolutely happened. All right. Yes. December 8th, POTUS briefing pulled. The IC, the intelligence community pulls a product that contradicts Russia hoax narrative. Okay. The Russia hoax narrative came after he was given this report that said the Russians didn't do it. So Obama says, well, I would like to rework that and say that they did. Yeah. And he created his own plan. On December 9th, the day of the meeting, Obama ordered that the IC begins outlining new assessment to claim the election was hacked with no evidence whatsoever. Yeah. None. All right. So then the deep state, after the call goes out, this is what we're going to do. Then the deep state started leaking things to the press, to the news agencies and stuff. Obama officials used their media propaganda arm to spread the fake news. All right, Washington Post. Secret CIA assessment says Russia. A secret CIA assessment. This is over and above what they already said.
Right.
All right, which wasn't publicized, by the way. They never publicized the fact that the CIA gave Obama a report that said the Russians did not do it.
Right.
All right. The secret CIA assessment says Russia was trying to help Trump win the White House. New York Times, Russia hackers acted to aid Trump in the election, says the CIA. NBC News, U.S. officials, Putin personally involved in the U.S. election hack. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine these guys in Russia going, what the hell are they doing? What? Are just laughing. You've seen Putin laugh, right? He just goes, right? You can just see that. And he's just got to go, those silly Democrats in the United States. All right. So this resulted in a fake weaponized assessment, suppressed prior intelligence showing Russia lacked the intent. They lacked the intent and capability to hack the 2016 election. And that resulted in the Russia hoax. That resulted in Hillary Clinton, who was in on it, paying for the Steele dossier and all that. So it's a big mess. There are more documents coming out later this week, maybe even today, to reinforce what's already. I think what Tulsi Gabbard is doing is brilliant. Instead of just putting it all out there at once, he said, let's put the initial. We have the proof of this, that meeting happened, and what happened at that meeting. We have the proof of that because it was all documented. And now whatever comes out next is just going to be the nail in the coffin.
Right.
Now, I have seen it incorrectly reported that Barack Obama can't be prosecuted for this because he has presidential immunity, right? No, that's not quite right. He has immunity for anything he does that's an official act. This was not an official act.
That's not an official act, yeah.
Because plotting to overthrow a U.S. president, first of all, is treason.
Subverting the will
And number
of the
two,
people.
it's not an official act of a United States president to do that. He will be able to be prosecuted. Will he be? I don't know, because Democrats always get a pass. They always skate. They always get a pass.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's Democrats. There's people on both sides of these labels that they force us that get a pass.
Well, why is it
But-
always the Republicans who go to prison and not the Democrats?
I don't know why I don't know.
Well, that's just the way it is.
Interesting.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
my question though is, are we starting to realize the power of the fake media? I mean, this is another example like the one we have in California of the Bass lady with that fake story they put out. And
yeah.
I mean, if you put an official headline on it, you can get the public to generally
You're
believe whatever.
You're talking about the fake kidnapping story?
Yeah.
Yeah. That both Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom bought into.
Yeah.
And their GoFundMe movement and all that. And it never happened. It turned out to be an immigrant lady made the whole story up. And it was just all fake.
It was all fake, but the news put it out there. And so hundreds of thousands of people are sending money and all up in arms.
That's because sources say, and so reports that, so the news is not culpable because we didn't say it. This is what the sources said.
Yeah.
So they're out every single freaking time. All right. So there's that. We needed to talk about that. We need to talk about the fact that Barack Obama plotted to overthrow the president, Donald Trump.
Amongst other things, yes. I believe that very much. I think that he is probably one of the top heads of this little snake of the shadow government we have going on.
Well, he was the president at the time
right.
that this happened. He was the president of the United States on December 9th, 2016, when this happened.
How many presidents have never left Washington, D.C. after they were out of office, though? He stays right there with his little pulling strings and manipulating people.
Well, guess what? Barack Obama's got a new problem.
His wife's a man.
No. No, he's got a new problem.
Uh-oh.
Tafari Campbell was his chef. Tafari Campbell worked for the Obamas in Martha's Vineyard as a chef for a long time.
Many years, almost a decade.
And then suddenly he died in a shallow pond. He drowned in a shallow pond. And no questions asked, case closed. It was an accidental drowning. Okay, so now a member of Tafari's family, the Campbell family, has come forward to say that Tafari Campbell was working on a tell-all book about the Obamas and was getting this all done, and also that he was Barack Obama's homosexual lover for 10 years.
That's right. I did see that. That's another one of those, they shot themselves 4 times and put themselves in a sleeping bag.
Well, I didn't see that on the news. I saw it online.
You're right.
Right. But I did see the person who's making these accusations now, and it's out there. It's out there.
Mainstream
So I have
media
to
is
deal
not
with
going to
that.
pick that up and push it as, I don't foresee that happening.
Right. Barack Obama has a third problem that may or may not even become mainstream. Don't know. Couldn't tell you other than somebody's obviously going to try to disprove it as a Photoshop deal or conspiracy or whatever. But,
Talking about his mama being dirty?
well, his mama was a nudie dancer, but she was more than that. She performed sexual acts on stage. This is the picture on the left here is her actually squatting onto a beer bottle.
She was the original OnlyFans. Get your subscriptions now.
Right. And the picture on the right, not the inset, but the actual picture on the right is just a picture that was taken in somebody's home, maybe her own, I don't know. And then the inset is her with her son, Barack Obama.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool girl.
Now, but here's what you don't know is that she was a CIA asset the entire time, and that Barack Obama was apparently groomed to be
A nefarious character.
Manchurian Candidate. His entire life, he was groomed from the CIA to eventually become president of the United States, if that worked out, if that all worked out. Because, sometimes CIA plans don't work out. So there is that. So that's the final Obama.
That opens a
business I
whole
wanna
new
talk about.
window for you guys to make those you mama jokes about Obama.
Yep. I want to touch on the geoengineering issues that we've been talking about, the chemtrails that we've been talking about a little bit on this show. Got some comments this last week from a couple of our shorts that had covered that topic, and these were not nice comments. These were not "I beg to differ" or "that's not real" or whatever. They were trolls saying nasty things. So you know what that usually means, that when you're getting that kind of ammunition fire, that you're over the target. So I want to cover this real quickly. This is Lee Zeldin talking to Benny Johnson, and I'm sure you all know the Benny Show. Some of you do, some of you don't. But this is actually a post by Wall Street Apes. They make a lot of posts filled with information, but I want to talk about this post here. Everyone needs to understand what's being said here. The head of the EPA, Lee Zeldin, is telling Benny Johnson that the spraying of toxic chemicals into our sky is so unregulated, they don't even have widespread procedures to stop them, which is insane.
Insanity.
Absolutely insane. So let's just watch this, a very short clip. Let's just watch this real quick. All right.
It has not been studied enough. It hasn't been researched enough, but absolutely don't. Nobody out there should take that answer as me advocating for more outdoor experiments. The problem is the concerns are too great, and I would not be encouraging more outdoor studies of these different topics.
Yes, in all due respect, you serve with Robert Kennedy Jr., who spent his entire many decades of his young life fighting against toxins and poisons being pumped into our water supply, which I think every human in this country of sound mind agrees that's terrible. We don't want our kids to be drinking toxic water, obviously. But it seems as though there is free range in order to do that into the atmosphere. And that seems like prima facie wrong.
A requirement to notify NOAA when engaging in the activity that one company, Make Sunsets, announced that they were going to be engaging in. But there is a lot of concern over a lack of current authority under current statute to be able to stop these activities if the activities get scaled up.
Yes.
So let's all just deal in facts. We be respectful of each other, have a thoughtful dialogue, and we can advance this conversation and then help inform that debate inside of Congress.
Why do you suppose that there is no regulated way in our laws to deal with this, to deal with the aerosol spraying of our skies?
Well, I think it goes back all the way to, I think it was 1942. And we didn't have the CIA then. It was the OSS.
Yeah, right before. Yeah, it was actually right after Roswell,
Right.
the Roswell incident, that the OSS became the CIA.
Yes. And at that time, they hired, what is the man's name that built the St. Louis Archway?
Don't know.
Well, there's theory that maybe that is weather manipulation, because that man later went on to work very diligently in weather manipulation. But yeah, even the CIA is involved in this. They have assets that they're using to do these things or in allowing them to happen.
Yeah,
You can weaponize the weather. You're going to win the war.
absolutely. And you talking about weather and war. That's always been a thing. Well, at least since the Vietnam War, it's always been a thing.
Yeah.
A spraying to change the weather in Vietnam, and it's documented that this actually works. You want to bring torrential rains to an area, this is the way you do it.
Yep.
All right, now I'm going back to 1996 here now. I asked Grok about this, about the document called Weather as a Force Multiplier, Owning the Weather in 2025. What? It's 2025, isn't it?
Weird,
And this
isn't
was
it?
written in 1996. Okay, now, all due respect, this was not some secret covert document. All right. This was a research paper that was produced by a team of U.S. Air Force officers as part of a U.S. Air Force 2025 study that they were doing in 1996.
Right.
Directed by the Air Force Chief of Staff to explore future concepts, capabilities, and technologies for maintaining U.S. air and space dominance. Authored by Colonel Tamzi J. House, a lieutenant Colonel James B. Neer, and others. It was presented on June 17th, 1996 at the Air War College, and published under Academic Freedom to Advance National Defense Concepts. The document is not an official policy or position of the U.S. Air Force, the Department of Defense, or the U.S. government, and it includes fictional future scenarios for illustrative purposes. All right. And there's a bunch of stuff here about how, everybody knows about this document. I didn't know about it, but it's been widely disseminated and everybody knows about it, and a bunch of conspiracy theories around it and all that. Well, first of all, let's talk about conspiracy theories. They're only theories until they're proven fact. And how many of these things have been proven fact
over
in the
and
last
over
10
and
years?
over and over.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. So, and what if it wasn't for people asking questions and getting it out there, much of this stuff would remain buried unknown by us. So I think that the first question people ask is, well, who's spraying the skies? Who is doing it? Who's doing it? Who's trying to kill us with chemicals from the sky? Well, that's really not the point.
No, the fact of the matter is there's 7 or 8 companies. Most of them have ties to BlackRock and Vanguard and Bill Gates and those. It's covered in that film Dimming.
Talk about BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. By the way, I've also found out that Vanguard and State Street are also owned by BlackRock.
Yeah, they all own each other with shares back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that. Anyway.
It's the same people that's putting the shit in your cereal that's killing your kids.
Okay, but why? Nobody wants to kill us. Nobody wants to kill us. Why? I don't believe it. You're a conspiracy theorist. You need to wear a tinfoil hat.
You're right. I have my tinfoil hat, but Bill Gates has openly stated that he wants the world.
Bill Gates has openly stated.
Depopulate the world by 2030.
Depopulate the world by as much as 90%.
By 2030.
So that means killing 90% of the world population. Let's talk about what it really means.
Yeah.
Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to kill everybody? No, I don't believe you. They don't want to do that.
They're not going to pay out your Social Security. Listen, this world's been reset so many times. Are we getting reset right now?
Oh, so many times. Most people have no idea of how many civilizations came before ours.
At least 6.
No idea.
At least 6.
So, folks, pull your heads out of your butts and look at what's going on. The people still want to argue about the difference between a condensation trail and a chemical trail, but there's no question about it when you see the evidence and it's pointed out to you and you watch it happening in your sky.
And in order to do that, you have to look up. I am amazed by the number of adults I speak to that say, oh, well, hell, I've never noticed. I just don't look up.
That's right.
Look at the sky.
I look at the sky a lot.
I have to put my sun visor down when I'm driving so I'm not looking at the sky, okay? Yeah. Pay attention to your reality, guys.
Everybody wants to say that this is a tinfoil hat subject. So many want to put you down and insult you, believing that this is a tinfoil hat subject. But that's how the world dies.
You know what? I've been standing on this hill since 18 years ago. I'll die on this hill. The geoengineering is killing plants. It's helping contribute to the food shortage, which is there's plenty enough resources that if we were handled correctly and not by this corrupt elite, then we would have very successful communities. We could have thriving communities.
Well, let's just put it out there. If you believe that there is not a corrupt elite that want to depopulate the earth and control everything else, subjugate people, turn us into slaves. If you don't believe that the most elite people in the world see us as cattle, then you got to pull your head out of your butt, because that is absolutely happening. Will they be able to do it? It's up to people to educate themselves and to rail against these things. I believe they can easily be put out of business.
Yeah,
personally.
it just takes everybody to stop dividing ourselves, stop accepting these labels, realize that we're all the community.
Sunlight is the greatest disinfectant. That means you shine a light on them and they scatter like cockroaches.
Yeah.
Deny. But we have so much proof through the World Economic Forum, through the Bohemian Grove, through the Bilderberg Group, the elitist of the elite, the richest people of the world who get together and they meet and they talk about things about how to get rid of the rest of us and have the world for themselves.
So you're an employer and you got 5 people working for you. Those 5 people make you money. So if you're one of the elitists that has control over one of these 3 groups that just keep on, that's billions of people around the planet that are contributing to your wealth every single day.
Yeah, but once you have your wealth, you have it.
Yeah, they don't need us for anything.
No,
Not at all.
nothing at all.
No.
They don't need us for anything. We're cattle to them.
The sooner we start remembering our divinity and spirituality and getting back into that, creating communities, letting your family stay together and stop sending your kids out into the world on their own. You know, the sooner we get back to tribal community living, the sooner we'll start overthrowing that business. If your community provides everything for itself and everybody takes care of each other, you don't need the government grants. You don't need the government stepping in and telling you, you can't do this or this or this.
We've heard that of secret plans to create a fake alien invasion, or we've heard about deities appearing in the sky, which is actually a scripture and a prophecy as to when the trumpet blows, and talk about Revelation, when the trumpet blows, and we're going to see the whole earth will see Jesus coming back in the sky. All right.
Right.
All right. On June 29th in the Philippines, this video, what do you think of that?
It's rather interesting, isn't it? Looks like they're getting practiced up.
And the official reports was it was a cloud formation. I mean, look, you can even see the halo on top of the head.
I know, it's all golden.
Well, is this a test? Are they
Yeah,
testing? Are they testing technology to see if they, because we've heard about, they want to secretly use holograms in the sky to show different deities, depending on where you live, different deities, whatever, coming down. Before we get off the topic of geoengineering and aerosol spraying in the skies, I just want to show again. I want to show this YouTube channel, Dane Wigington with 1G, and his documentary called The Dimming. This is a wonderful documentary. It is 2 hours long. Please do it. Take the 2 hours, figure it out. And look, I mean, just right up front, we got diagrams of things and shows how they are these airplanes are set up and how they are used to aerosol spray the skies for weather manipulation. All right. There's a big topic right now. Look at this. We should show the tanks that are in the planes, and it's very, very good. You really should watch it. Mm-hmm. Again, his name is Dane Wigington with 1G, and you watch this, you just watch it for a minute and you see some of this imagery of these are not normal contrails. They've even got video of aerosol spray coming in out of just one wing instead of the other wing, just coming out of one. They've got close-up pictures of the nozzles on these planes that are not the engines. They've got actually separate nozzles like coming out the back to the tail of the plane or whatever, where these things are coming out. It is happening. It is real. You must believe that it is real. And you can rail against it all you want and say, who would do that? It's not a thing. Humans don't do that to humans. Okay. Well, we got the evidence. And we're not the only ones talking about it. The whole world is talking about it. The whole world
is talking about it.
And we've got a lot of people in government who are talking about it. We've got whole states that are trying to ban the aerosol spraying in their states. I've seen planes in the air, way up in the air, doing this that are not passenger planes. They're something else. We're talking about very, very fast airplanes with sweat-to-pack wings doing these things. I've seen it all. So you all just really need to
look up at the sky.
Look up at the sky. Look up and do it every day and do it multiple times each day. You will see the proof before your very eyes.
Yeah, that gauzy white haze that covers up the sky makes everybody just want to go jump off a bridge. That's not natural.
You can see over time when they spray these things out, and you look at that same stream and that ribbon in the sky 30 minutes later, and it's completely spread out and it's not going away. That is not a contrail. No. That's not how it works.
No, and if you look at the sky often enough, you see that commercial planes fly completely without any kind of trail. A lot of days, lots of days they have nothing. You just see the little silver plane flying through the sky.
All right. We're going to switch subjects now and talk about Jeffrey Epstein and the whole thing that's been going on in the Trump administration between Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino, and of course, Donald Trump. All right. Now, if you need any evidence that MAGA is not a cult, look at how they've all been fighting each other over this issue. But the one that really just kind of burns my britches is Megyn Kelly and her assertions that she's making right now. And just pull this into here. We're not going to play this video because it's unrelated to what we're talking about here. But Megyn Kelly lately has been giving hints that Jeffrey Epstein is not dead, that he is alive, and that we're going to be hearing from him directly. There was a second autopsy performed on Jeffrey Epstein by the incredibly famous forensic pathologist, Dr. Michael Baden. That's Baden. All right. I had the distinct privilege of working with Dr. Michael Baden on several occasions when I was a full-time video producer, manager of video production for Stetson University College of Law in Gulfport, Florida. I was there for 25 years. I worked with Michael Baden on 3 separate occasions where he came to the school to do programs. He would come directly into my television studio and spend hours there along with the wonderful, wonderful Professor Carol Henderson, who has unfortunately passed away now. But I got to know Dr. Michael Baden. I also got to know Dr. Henry Lee, who is a Chinese forensic pathologist. He's American, but originally from China, and speaks very broken English. And along with Dr. Cyril Wecht, another one. These guys would come and do special programs. We used to have something called the National Clearinghouse for Science, Technology, and the Law at Stetson University College of Law. And they put together fantastic programs headed by Professor Carol Henderson, who I mentioned has passed away. Anyway, Dr. Michael Baden performed a second autopsy on Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes, at the brother's behest, Epstein's brother, right?
Yeah. And Dr. Michael Baden concluded that Jeffrey Epstein did not commit suicide because his hyoid bone in his neck was shattered. He said, you cannot do that from hanging yourself. It doesn't happen when you hang yourself. And the way the cell wasn't tall enough for him to hang himself.
Right. Maybe if you jumped off of like really tall something.
He tied a bed sheet or something around a corner of a bunk and then hung, just went like this and hung himself like this.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Okay.
Self-preservation would have kicked in.
Whatever. You can say that, but you can't prove it, right?
Just like they can't prove he did it to himself.
So anyway, in regard to Megyn Kelly and her assertions that we're going to be hearing directly from Jeffrey Epstein himself, and she can't talk about it and she can't name names, of course, I think she probably has been made aware of video that's out there that no one knows about of Jeffrey Epstein himself making a statement. What else could it be? Maybe a document, but documents can be faked. But maybe a video.
Maybe. They're going to have to prove that it's not AI.
I've already seen one AI video of Jeffrey Epstein. It's not that hard to prove. It's really not that hard to prove.
Right. Maybe they're going to holograph him in the sky.
Anyway. So I just wanted to put that out there because Jeffrey Epstein is dead. All right. Don't you believe otherwise.
Question everything.
Of course. But Megyn Kelly is getting clicks. That's what she's doing. She's doing clickbait.
All you got to do these days is make up a good lie.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fan, in case you didn't get it already. I'm not a fan of Megyn Kelly, and I'm not going to go into that. Listen, we're going to do one more thing today, and this is a much, much nicer topic to talk about, and this is your health and supplements and that sort of thing, because I've been learning a lot lately. I've been taking a regimen of supplements.
Same.
And I feel so much better
Absolutely.
than I was. I was no energy, lethargic, aches and pains all over the place. And so I just quickly want to go over my regimen of what I'm taking and what I am now adding to that from what I have discovered. So I take Balance of Nature, which many of you have probably heard of.
Is that the source of life?
The Balance of Nature comes in 2 bottles, a green bottle and a red bottle. Red bottle is fruits, and the green bottle is greens. And you take 6 of these a day. So Balance of Nature is how I get my fruits and veggies because I have a terrible diet.
Okay.
Terrible. That's how I get my fruits and veggies. And it is all like the daily requirement stuff. It's great. It's very, very good for you. It's not cheap. It's like $90 a month. But otherwise, I'm not eating well. So, I eat a lot of protein and I got to get those veggies in there. And the fruits too. The fruits are so good with the antioxidants and the anti-inflammatories and all that. But,
they're good for your hydration too.
Basically, you got to eat plants. Plants got to be part of your diet.
That's right.
Because there's a lot of healing properties in plants. So I take Balance of Nature. I also take a mushroom mix because there's a lot of good stuff going on with mushrooms as far as brain health. No, they are not the psychedelic kind of mushrooms. All right. It's something called Mushroom Max. I take that. I take methylene blue on the recommendations of people like RFK, and it's actually a clothing dye for like blue jeans and stuff like that called methylene blue. Turns out it has tremendous healing properties in it. So I take that daily. It also turns your pee blue, which is kind of nice, actually.
I mean, that's fun. Not everybody gets to pee blue.
But it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right. I take extra vitamin D, actually D3. I take it daily, like a allergy thing, because I get the snots in the eyeballs and things. I get that, especially in North Carolina. I lived in Florida for 58 years, so it was fine. I was so immune to it in Florida. Florida's could be really bad, but up here, I get allergy issues, so I take a daily thing of that. But that's just about it. Okay, here's what's new.
Well, before you tell me what we need to add, because I probably needed to add it to mine.
Yeah.
I do the Source of Life vitamins. They're methylated so that your body can absorb them. And also extra vitamin D3 because that's very important. I don't do the red bottle and blue bottle because I get a smoothie every day that's full of bee pollen and honey and extra collagen and spinach and fruits, all the fruits and veggies in the smoothie in the morning.
All right.
What are we adding?
Well, we've heard an awful lot about how men are getting too much estrogen.
Yes.
And how are we getting it?
Through our food, through the milk and the meat and the soy. Soy is so bad for men.
And a lot of meats have been injected with antibiotics and with hormones.
Growth hormones.
Yeah. So this is how men are getting an overload of estrogen, which is a female hormone.
And a note, even when it says no added hormones, their food has hormones, so the animal injects the hormones. They don't actually... so you get those that say we don't do that. Well, they're not. They're putting it in their food, so they're not injecting it technically.
Yeah. We also have scientific proof that men's testosterone has dropped 40% in 40 years.
Yep.
This is because of all of the new science we have about foods and how everything's being injected. And they've even found stuff in Chick-fil-A.
I know.
And Chick-fil-A now they've had to change their statement about no antibiotics and no this or that. They've had to change that.
It had
contraceptives.
Contraceptives, yeah. I was going to say anti-birth because I couldn't think of the word, but yes, contraceptives in your Chick-fil-A. That's why they holy.
So anyway, the first one I'm adding now is called DIM, D-I-M, and it's pronounced diindolylmethane. Diindolylmethane.
Oh, you said that so well.
Well, I've been practicing it.
Nice.
Okay, diindolylmethane is a supplement. It's a natural compound formed in the stomach when digesting cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now I want to watch a very short video about the benefits for men to take this DIM formula. Okay, let's watch that now.
Hi, I'm back. In this video, we're going to talk about a substance called DIM, men and estrogen. Now, I had a question about DIM, which basically is a compound that helps the metabolism of estrogen. It helps to balance estrogen. And mainly people think of women having estrogen or estrogen dominance, so that's why they take it. But it's also good for men in certain situations. Now, there are two pathways that deal with estrogen in the liver, okay? To make it really simple and non-complex, one increases estrogen, the other decreases estrogen, okay? So DIM helps you decrease the bad estrogen in the liver. So it's very, very important for that. Now, here's a challenge. As a male body ages, it starts to accumulate more estrogen. They become estrogen dominant. They get breast tissue, lowered testosterone, because testosterone and estrogen kind of work as a teeter-totter. Prostate enlargement, urination issues. They lose body hair. So there's all these things that can happen. So now the question is, where does this estrogen come from? Now, it could come from the environment. It could come from the food that you're eating, but it also could come from your own body because your fat cells make estrogen. So the fatter you are, the more estrogen you're going to make. So it's really important to get on the ketosis, get on the intermittent fasting to lose the weight to help balance this estrogen situation, because if you lower estrogen, your testosterone will go up naturally. But typically what happens, there's an enzyme that's converting this testosterone to estrogen as well in your body, and DIM blocks that enzyme. So it helps to balance these two hormones. So basically DIM will support healthy estrogen levels as well as healthy testosterone levels.
Okay, so what do you think of that?
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
It really
is. Okay, so
is.
this DIM supplement, it's not expensive at all, but I would suggest, as my male watchers out there, especially in the advanced age group, I'd say 50 plus, should definitely be taking this.
Some of y'all in your 20s need to start taking this.
It's very, very important.
It is very
now,
important.
He just kind of brushed by this, but also very important to say, so get on the ketosis and the intermittent fasting, right? Which is something I'm terrible at.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Well, I could do ketosis, and I've done it before. I lost 30 pounds in 3 months one time.
Yeah.
Through ketosis.
It makes you naturally just like, yay, I'm so high. I'm so happy. It's because all this fat's burning off, and I'm just cruising.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I still am working on it through mental, like, whoa, I'm working out. Whoa.
I have a problem. I have a problem waking up, drinking my coffee with sugar creamer in it, and eating 2 Pop-Tarts.
Now, listen, I drink coffee all the time, and I don't want anybody to take any kind of offense to this because I am not politically correct. But it's black coffee unless it's my fat girl coffee. And
I don't even know what that means.
it means that my alter ego, that is the fat girl inside, Delilah, she likes, Delilah really, really likes that Cinnabon creamer by International Delight. Yeah. But if you drink too much of it, you just...
Yeah, I'm a chocolate caramel guy myself.
Yeah.
So I've cut back on that. I'm using less, and I'm making my coffee stronger, which is a very good thing to do.
It really is.
Make your coffee stronger and use less creamer, and you will get used to it. And I have gotten used to it. It's breaking the Pop-Tart habit.
Yeah.
Breaking the Pop-Tart habit. But I would typically do that, have 2 Pop-Tarts, and I won't eat another thing all day until dinner time, and I'll have some protein.
Yeah.
And it's not really working for me. I'm not really losing weight, but I am on a weight loss. I want to lose 50 pounds.
Well, like that's one of the things that the smoothie really helps with my life because I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat lunch occasionally, usually very high protein dinners, but I do try to throw some broccoli in there most of the time. That smoothie, my body burns through it, but it just keeps burning after that. And it's burning whatever's left over. And, I'm not adding more sugar throughout the day.
I like to think I look pretty good around 190, 185. I need to lose 50 pounds.
Okay.
I don't carry it in my face and all that. So just sitting here at this table, you would never guess it. But yeah, I need to lose 50 pounds. And I'm going to work on that and try to lose 50 pounds in 5 months. Let's see what happens.
That's pretty awesome. If that's your...
See what happens. I also seriously need to get out walking.
Oh, we have the most beautiful place to do that. You can just cut over your hill and be on a beautiful walking trail.
Yeah, but I have a problem with the heat, and it's extremely hot right now.
I know.
We're getting into the 90s, and the sun blasting down on me, and I really can't take it.
Dog days. Do you know about dog days?
I think as soon as I wake up in the morning and it's in the mid 60s again, I think that's when I'm going to start.
You do know about the dog days of August.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of our viewers may not. It's about to get real hot.
I lived in Florida for 58 years, and August was always the worst month.
It is.
The worst.
It's because the
Absolutely
dog
worst.
star is visible also, actually. Not
Okay.
because dogs are jerks, but snakes are shedding, so they're striking out, they're blind. That was always the thing growing up. It's dog days. You better be
Here's some
looking
of the
for
best-
snakes.
This is just by accident, but we're going to watch the same guy again talking about moringa, Moringa. This is the next supplement that I'm adding.
Okay.
Moringa. Why am I adding moringa? Well, let's find out. Another very short video.
The benefits of moringa. Okay, the moringa plant. It's actually a tree, and a lot of people wanted me to do a video on this, so I finally decided to do it. It's called the miracle tree because every part of this tree has very special properties, from the leaves to the flowers to the seeds to the bark to the sap to the pods. The oil has certain properties that are similar to olive oil. And what's interesting, it doesn't go rancid. So apparently it's so loaded with antioxidants, it's protected. But here's some of the benefits. First of all, it has all of the essential amino acids. Number 2, it has 7 times the potassium as bananas.
Wow.
3, twice as much protein as milk. 4 times as much calcium as milk. Number 5, 7 times more vitamin C than an orange. Number 6, 25 times the iron than spinach. Now, of course, it's not the heme iron, but it's still some iron that can be converted or used by our bodies to a certain degree. Number 7, it has 36 times more magnesium than eggs. And number 8, it has 50 times more vitamin B3 than peanuts. It has 56 times more vitamin B2 than bananas. And number 10, it has anti-diabetic properties, so it's great if you have blood sugar issues. Number 11, it's anti-arthritic, so it has powerful anti-inflammatory properties. All right, number 12, it's a very, very powerful antioxidant. And number 13, it's anti-acne. So moringa is definitely on the list of superfoods, not only the massive amount of nutrients, but also phytonutrients.
If you don't take it for no other reason than number 13,
Amazing.
clear
Isn't it?
skin. Wow.
It's amazing. So I'm taking moringa now.
Nice.
It's actually a small capsule. All these things are in capsule form. You just pop them in your mouth and swallow them. You don't have to suffer through, drinking some drink that tastes like crap or anything like that.
Right.
I am doing some weird stuff right now, Courtney. I'm doing some weird stuff. One of the weird things I'm doing is every morning I drink a lukewarm cup of water with a half a lemon squeezed into it and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper.
Heck yes. Do it.
All mixed up. I've been doing it all week.
It gets your blood flowing. It gets oxygen going to your body.
Cayenne pepper is very good for you.
I love cayenne
It's
pepper
very,
in my
very
coffee.
good for you.
I put
So,
it in my coffee.
Now, this is painful for me. It's painful. I'll
I
pick
can.
up the mug and I'll just start chugging it down. I'll do 10, like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Go,
and after 10, I have to slam it and then go, and I'll pick up something else. I'll pick up my iced tea or something and take a sip of or whatever. And I haven't even finished it yet. In another coffee mug over here next to it, half full of lukewarm water, and I've got the beet mixture, the beets.
You know what? I use a little beet mixture powder.
Yeah.
It goes in my smoothies, but I drank some the other day and it's just so fruity.
So I just take that. Now, this doesn't taste bad, but
No,
it doesn't
not at all.
really taste like anything at all.
No.
So I'll do a daily measurement of that. I'll put it in the water. You got to shake that up good because it won't dissolve. Yeah, shake. I actually use a cocktail shaker.
Okay.
I shake it all up and I do that. And in between finishing the cayenne pepper, I'll do this to take the burn off. Then I'll finish the cayenne pepper. And I'm telling you what, I feel better than I have. I'll be 68 next month or in September. I'll be 68 in September. And I feel better than I felt when I was 58.
Can I make a suggestion?
You just did.
Okay. In your lukewarm water, lemon, cayenne mixture, you need to find local honey. And I'm not talking about
I've got local honey. My sister-in-law's son makes honey.
put a
in
tablespoon.
Franklin. And I've got a bunch of it.
That's local enough. Put a tablespoon. I mean, it really is. It's because of the plants and stuff in the area.
This is wildflower honey.
just Put a tablespoon of that in with your lemon and cayenne. It's going to make it taste a little better, hopefully. But that's going to work on your allergies because your body will start building the antibodies against the local pollen now.
All right. Listen, I want to talk about one more thing before we get out of here. This is going to be our longest podcast in a long time. So maybe we'll just skip the rabbit hole, the Facebook rabbit hole this week, because it's just, we've gone on for a long time. Okay. We're going to talk about one more thing because it's super, super important, and that is your brain. Your brain is 90% fat.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens when you go on a no-fat diet?
Well, your brain starts starving.
Shrinking.
Yep.
Your brain can actually start shrinking. You can lose brain mass. So don't do that. Now,
the first thing to go is not your waist.
Right. Fat is
your brain.
Hugely important to your body.
It is. Cholesterol.
Hugely important to your body.
All of these, what are they called? The statins to reduce cholesterol.
Statins
Terrible.
Very bad
Terrible.
for you. Very, very bad for you.
It's like
statins.
No, if you take a statin, you're pretty much condemning yourself to death within the next 5 to 7 years.
Could happen.
That's my personal opinion.
I did a statin for about 6 months before I learned and this was several years ago. So no, don't do the statins. So what can you do for your brain? What's something really good to do for your brain? And we're finding out that it's vitamin E.
Yes.
And it's not just a daily dose of vitamin E. It's like triple, quadruple that vitamin E. So I'm also adding that to my supplements. So I'm now taking about 12 things every day.
Yeah. But at least they're supplements and your body is like healing itself and feeling good.
It absolutely is.
And you're not having medically mandated pill that leads you to have to take another one. And then the side effects from that one cause you to take another one. And if you are a person that has to take lots of pills, look at the progression. Look back to where it started and see the progression of how those medications have done you. That's something we have to start getting away from.
Courtney, I have to apologize. I lied. There's one more thing I want to talk about.
What do we got? What do we got?
The last thing is we touched very briefly on this last week, and the short that was made from that got viewed like 2,000 times. And that we talked briefly about sunscreen.
Yes, sunscreen.
Okay. So I found out what is the bad thing in sunscreen that will cause cancer, and it's benzene. A lot of these, we talked about Banana Boat and some other brands were filled with benzene. Very, very, very bad for you. It's carcinogen.
Yes.
Yeah. So look for natural sunscreens, store-bought ones. Always look for benzene in that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If it's not in the list of stuff that's in it, go online and look for it and to see if it contains benzene. Do not put benzene on your skin.
No.
Do not do it.
I have a very dear friend lives on the West Palm Coast in Florida. Her insistence is coconut oil.
Yeah.
Just plain old coconut oil. Now, I can't attest to the veracity of that. I've never tried it myself.
All right. Well, just for fun, let's go down the Facebook rabbit hole for just a minute. I call it the Facebook Reels rabbit hole because some people will call it doom scrolling. Have you ever heard it called that? Before you go to bed, you just start scrolling through things like Facebook Reels or YouTube Shorts or that sort of thing. And before you know it, you've been doing it for 90 minutes.
Right.
And you look at the clock and it's 1:30 in the morning and you go, holy crap, how did that happen? Right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to do it for a minute and see what happens here. Here we go. And please, when the show is over, don't forget to not click off immediately because you'll miss our latest episode of Alan and Chester.
Alan
the
Chester.
Alien and Chester the Bigfoot. Now, unfortunately, Chester got thrown out of the mobile home.
Damn it.
Yeah. And Alan's got a new roommate. Okay, just want to throw that out there. Anyway, here's our little doom scrolling Facebook rabbit hole. Here we go.
Do you know why the plane's engine is always cleaned by turning it on? While everyone knows how powerful the plane's engine is, if someone stands behind it, they could be blown away like a sparrow and might even be pulled in from a few feet away. But these workers aren't doing anything because while cleaning, the plane's engine rotates at 2,000 to 2,500 RPM.
That's fascinating. But moving on. Aw, look at that. He found him like that. Isn't that cute?
This new platform lets you post your content every...
Magician, I think. This is so old school magic. Wow. Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm a big enough kid that
Well, I
that
figured
fascinated
we'd
me.
watch these videos together.
Oh,
Take a
this
look at
guy's
this.
into it. This guy's totally into
So
it.
what bioenvironmental engineering is in the Air Force is equivalent to that of the OSHA and the EPA, if you're familiar with that. So we were an embedded liaison to make sure that we were tracking all of the aspects and impacts of the military, meaning what is the military doing and how is it impacting the environment, because we're accountable for that. One day I was going through that computer system, which if you want to look it up, it's called an Air Force Form 3952. It is the approval of hazardous materials. I was finding tons and tons of large quantities of aluminum, barium, strontium in the forms of oxides and sulfates. So I started asking questions. And at that point, my demonization began.
Yeah, we could stop right there. There's so much out there. So many people talking about things they've experienced, the whistleblowers coming out and just talking about it. Bless their hearts, really. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, look at that. Clever.
And I'm not vaccinated.
So it doubles as a playground potty. But I liked it. That was cool.
All convenient.
I'll have to
Fits
get
in
me
your
one of those.
handbag.
You probably get them for $10 on Amazon. Nicotine patches, dissolve spike protein.
I've been hearing a lot about that.
I've been wearing them.
Nice. How's that going for you?
Well, I'm intermittent with it. I've got some in my batch of stuff right now, and I haven't put them on. But you don't have to wear them all the time.
Right.
You don't have to wear them all the time, but they can be very, very good for you. And you can get the smallest, what I think is 7 milligrams. The smallest one is 7 milligrams. They're not expensive. You can go right up here to Walgreens and get them. You got to ask for them though.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give them to you from behind the counter. But nicotine patches, very good for you.
Yep.
And for the real tinfoil hat people, which I'm not including myself in, but they say that it eliminates nanotech in your body. If you've received nanotech through an injection, through a vaccine or anything like that.
Through your sodas that you're drinking?
That it kills the nanotech. All right, here we go.
That's why I chain smoke.
Welcome to
After
the launch. The shuttle exploded and all 7 crew members lost their lives. This is Judy Resnick, an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger mission. In 2013, an eagle-eyed internet user found Judith Resnick, a law professor at Harvard Law School. Some people were a little taken aback by the identical name, age, and likeness, so they started digging. This is Mike.
All right, I take that. Do you think the one looked like the other? I thought they looked like 2 different people.
Michael J. Smith, also an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger shuttle, who passed away that fateful day in 1986 at the age of 39 years old. This is Dr. Michael J. Smith, professor of engineering at the University of Wisconsin. This is Sharon Krista McAuliffe, arguably one of the most famous things about the Challenger mission.
Yep.
She was supposedly just a teacher that was picked at random to be one of the astronauts, which made it all the more tragic when she passed away due to the Challenger disaster in 1986. This is Sharon A. McAuliffe, also a law professor who received her degree shortly after the Challenger disaster. Dick Scobie was the commander of the mission. Here's Commander Dick Scobie next to Richard Scobie, the CEO of Cows and Trees. Here.
Okay, now that could be the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
That could be the same guy.
His company's original logo. It's a cow, but it's not in a tree. It's strapped to a rocket. And gee, that jet stream kind of looks familiar. In fact, just in case I wasn't making it clear, the top picture is the Challenger ship shortly after exploding. So, Astronauts Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka both passed away when the Challenger shuttle exploded. Miraculously, it was found out that they both had twin brothers, Carl McNair and Claude Onizuka. But ancestry searches were done for both Carl and Claude, and there was no birth records found. And the odds of 2 sets of identical twins in a crew of 7 are astronomical. But that's just a theory. Rest in peace to the crew of the Challenger space shuttle mission.
Oh, have we been lied to?
Bizarre.
Yeah.
2 of these guys had twin brothers.
Identical twins.
With no birth records.
None. So weird.
It is so weird. I've seen that particular video before.
Remember to question everything.
Yeah, man. That's something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, any words of wisdom before we depart today, Courtney?
Yeah, just question everything. Stay motivated. I heard that from a very good friend.
Yeah.
That's his motto. Stay motivated. Yeah.
Well-
Stay vigilant. That's what I would like to say.
Stay vigilant.
Stay vigilant.
Stay vigilant.
Look up at the sky.
Yeah. Do you remember the original version of The Thing, which was called The Thing from Another World? The ending of that movie had the reporter in the Arctic with all the people who just went through what they went through with the monster, and they're all gathered around him, and he's doing a report on the radio live saying, "Keep watching the sky. Keep watching the sky."
Yeah.
But it's true.
Very true.
Keep watching the sky.
Yeah.
Did you have fun today?
I had a great time today. It's always a pleasure sitting here and doing business with you.
Well, you're a wonderful co-host.
Thank you for having me.
It's always wonderful just bouncing off you, all the stuff that we have to talk about. I mean, we were put together by Ed Ryan, who suggested to you that you come talk to me.
I know, it's so resistant.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I
don't think
like,
about that.
I was like, I'm shy. I don't want to talk on camera.
Oh.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Well, I had no idea. I just said, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how closely we would align with the things that we question, things that we look at.
And don't think that we have the same opinion about everything, because we
no, it's
definitely disagree on some things.
Yeah, that's true. That's called diversity.
And being an adult and having conversations.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debates are wonderful.
So with that, I will say to you right now, and this is just me, that we need more of you to like and subscribe to this channel. All right. You like the video on YouTube, and then you subscribe to the channel. All right. And after we get to 500 subscribers, I'm just going to shut up about that, because after you get to 500 subscribers aren't really that important in regard to YouTube analytics and their algorithms and all that. It's not really that important. So yeah, please do remember to subscribe to the channel. Some of the biggest YouTube channels still have like 70% of their viewers have not even subscribed to their channel yet. So if you want to support, we're not asking for money. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have any GoFundMe. I got none of that going on.
Nope.
Don't need it. All right. But would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. And we could get monetized with 500 subscribers, but that's not even really the point. Once you get to 500, it's kind of a hallmark with YouTube, and they will start showing your videos to a lot more people. So that's, they'll start putting them in a lot more people's feed. And we want to get all this information out there. So we appreciate that. So with that, I will ask you to say goodnight, Courtney.
Good night, Courtney.
Thank you all so much for watching. And we will see you in a week or so with the next podcast. Thanks again.
Did you like the show?
It was okay, but I heard he's got a tiny thing-a-ding.
Oh my God.